Today you're learning This isn't a video on how to play Neon the wrong way. There are a ton of lessons done on this song, and all of them are just teaching you how to play it the most convenient, or as I would say it, wrong way. This is a lesson made from a guy who literally practiced this song religiously for a very, very long time. Why? John Mayer was the only music I listened to, and he was literally the reason why I even pursued musicianship. I mean, I wanted to learn everything he did, and I mean like how he stood, how he had his hair. Like, bro, have you seen this tattoo? It's literally inspired from John Mayer. It's literally inspired from him. And that's exactly what happens when you're influenced by someone. In a weird way, he became my mentor during most of my music life. And then I got into jazz music and he's not a jazz guitarist, so I had to kind of switch it up a bit. I started learning Neon 7 years ago with the same goal as you have. I'm gonna give you information I have about this song, and basically I'm gonna make it easier for you to learn it than it was for me when I learned it, and I didn't have a tutorial or anything. I just kind of studied how he did it. So basically I want you to be better off than I was when I tried to learn it. Because honestly, it's so fucking fun to play this tune when you have it down. Another fun reason to learn this is because people will think you're so much better at guitar than you actually are. I mean, when you're slapping that low C like it's your favorite piece of... Jokes aside, I'm going to assume you already know the tune, but you want to play it more like Mayer does. Either that's the case or you don't know the tune at all, which then I'd encourage you to go and learn the chords from the internet. Because we will be focusing more on the slapping technique. This tutorial will be focused on the 2-finger slap technique and the usage of the thumb when playing the chords, which I'll show you a trick for later. With no further ado, tune that low E to a low C and let's go. The right hand pattern looks like this. Thumb, slap, C, index goes up, thumb down, index up, only slap, index up, thumb down, index up. So slowly that is slap, up, down, up, slap, up, down, up. Practice this pattern until you get it. It won't take too long, but really put your efforts into learning the finger pattern exactly like that. Because then you'll have the meat and potatoes of the song and everything else will become so much easier. Another thing you can do is practice the finger pattern without the slap and then add the slap after. Do whatever makes the practicing easier and try to find your way of doing it. How I did it was literally just practice the finger pattern without the slap, and then when I felt comfortable doing the finger pattern, I'll just add the slap after. So for the first chord, it should look like this. For the next chord, you want to grab the low E flat with your thumb, preferably. If you want to play it exactly like Mayer, then you have to get used to using your thumb over the neck. I would spend a couple of minutes on thumb stretching. So do stuff like massage it, I don't know, find your shit that works for you. I would literally do that because it's so much more worth it to play it like he does. And if you feel like you've tried it all and nothing works, I would say the last resort is basically to play it on a thin guitar. You should really be able to do it with a thin guitar, with a thin neck I mean though. After that it should become easier to do it with a normal sized guitar. And I mean, if that doesn't work, yes, of course you can play with your index finger, but it's not gonna be the same thing. So in terms of right hand technique for the second chord, you're doing almost the same thing as you did before. When you've learned the mental gymnastics of this part, you pretty much got it. Focus on the part where you feel constraints. Those are the exact places where you should practice. Where you feel like there's a mental gymnastic happening in your head, where you feel like something's not really clicking and you're you're kind of rushing through it. But those places are literally the place where if you take it slow, you'll make so much progress from that. The transition from chord 2 to 3 looks like this. This transition have to feel like second nature for it to feel and look effortless. So really take your time and really like get it inside of your brain, make those, what are those called? Really get it down into your brain. This third chord is a beautiful F minor 11 chord. It's a bit stretchy, so get used to playing the chord with a thumb and like make all the notes ring out before you move on to the finger pattern. When you feel comfortable doing that, you can move on to the finger pattern, which is the same pattern as before. Now you made it to the last two chords. Since these last two chords are played in one bar, there will be a fast transition between chord 4 and 5. This means you really gotta practice the transition. So what I do is switch between chord 4 and 5 as many times as you need for it to feel comfortable and for it to feel like second nature. The finger pattern for these last two chords are a little different because, as I said, there are two chords in one bar. So it's basically... So I want you to play chord 4 and I want you to only play the finger pattern like that. And I want you to take your time to switch to chord 5. So you start with playing the finger pattern for chord 4 and then you form the next chord, chord 5, and then you play the finger pattern there. So your goal here is to make the switching time as fast as possible. Play the pattern for chord 4 and try to make the chord switch faster and faster when you practice. After a few sessions of practicing this, you will get it down 100%. Okay, so now you have the mechanics of this riff. Here it is slowly. If you still have trouble playing this tune, if you still have problems with some of the parts, just rewind the video, find the part where you still have constraints with, watch them again, visualize them. Most of all, you have to take your time, like get them into your head, listen to the tune. That's something nobody tells you. Literally go and listen to the tune like 5 times before you practice it. Literally like listen to the tune and really visualize yourself playing it, and you should really get it down in no time. Remember that if this tune was easy, everybody would play it exactly like John Mayer, but it's not. So just put in the extra work and be a fucking boss, bro. Here is the riff in full speed. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope it helped you. If it didn't, I'm sorry. I just did my best. If you'd like a one-on-one guitar lesson with me, you can go to the link in the description, Fiverr link, and you can book a one-on-one lesson. We'll talk music, we'll talk guitar, we'll talk life, whatever you want. With that said, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye and good luck.